So in this video, we have the long-awaited, much requested SMTAV PTZ camera unboxing and review. So let's go. Hey folks, AJaytheCEO here. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel, we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And if you like what we're doing here, consider becoming a patron or a YouTube member by clicking one of the links down below. So it looks like we're just making our way through every single PTZ camera there is because a lot of y'all have been asking me about it. And this one has been highly requested, along with about 3 other cameras. I'm waiting to hear back from them. But this is the SMTAV 20X PTZ camera. Now, this is similar to one that I've installed at another church. But again, this one is coming in at around $700. So is it... What are the pros and cons to something like that? Because again, when I was originally trying to do some cameras at my church, they were originally coming in at 14. Well, actually, no, originally when I was trying to do this at my church, when we were looking at doing PTZ cameras, they were coming in around like $4,000 each. They've come down to around like 18. Also, you can find them at 18 to 14, depending on the feature set. Now, this one is kind of I don't want to call them an off-brand. I just never have heard of SMTAV before. But this one is giving you the same features minus NDI, coming in at like $700. One of the other things it says that it supports HDMI out, SDI out. It has network control. It has PoE power, network control. I think Visca control through RS-232, also over IP, I'm guessing. So what we're going to do is cut over here to my other top-down camera. We're going to open it up, see what's inside, and set it up, and then just see, hey, what type of quality do you get out of a $700 PTZ camera? So let's cut over here. This came in, I have a link in the description if you are interested about it, just like all the other products that we have. And actually, I was able to get this one on sale. I paid for this with my own money. So even though I did actually reach out to the company asking for a sample to see if I can review it, because I had a bunch of y'all asking about it. But, oh well, I guess I have to keep it now since I ripped the box. Man, this is some super tough tape. Anyway, I was able to, this one was actually on sale for about $10 off. So this, I actually got this under $700. It feels like I just tore a piece of skin off my hand trying to get this. Is this like Gorilla Tape or something? I don't know. Finally. Oh. All right, so let's see what you get inside of this. Okay, we get a thank you note. First of all, we'd like to appreciate you trusting and choosing SMTAV AV. We are so honored to have you as our customer, blah, blah, blah. Best regards. Yeah. All right, we got a manual here. Let's see. Power cable looks kind of short, but have an RS-232 cable for a serial joystick. Power brick for the cable. Remote control, which looks eerily familiar. packaging looks identical as well too. Camera looks identical. And it has a little logo here. I thought it was a sticker, but it is not. We got a little lens cap on here as well. All right. Interesting. Like I said, very, 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 very interesting. All right, let's see on the back, on and off. LAN, HDMI, 3G, SDI, USB. I believe this is for uploading only. There is no output. Resolution selector, RS485 and RS232 in and out for daisy chaining. Line in for audio. CVBS for kind of like sub HD output. We have our settings here to where we can set the resolution. By default is at 0, which is at 1080p 60. Now I have to admit, this looks like a knockoff brand of the PTZ optics. I have to call it what it is because it looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. But just because it looks doesn't mean that it functions the same way. So let's go ahead. I got an Ethernet cable here. Let's see, do we get PoE on this? Set it down. Let's go ahead and power it up. So it is PoE. So that will save from having to hook up this. I'll set this back in the box. And I'm not going to use that. And it didn't include batteries. Boo. All right, so let's go ahead. I got an HDMI cable here. Let's go ahead and hook this up to the ATEM, and let's see what type of image quality we get out of here. And actually, I had a cable already hanging over here for my laptop that I'm not using. And let me turn this to actually look at something. All right, so we got it here, and if we switch back over here to computer, what we're going to do is let's super source this, and let's see what we see in our image. All right, so let's see. There's the camera, really cool. Now I need to find the IP address of this. So if we change this over to my desktop here, I'm going to pull out the classic little tool that I always use, which is the advanced IP scanner over here. Let's go ahead and search. Now my assumption is that this has a default IP address that it's going to, that we need to set and get to in some way, shape, or form. Let's see, looking through the manual here, page 10. All right, so it's actually, if it doesn't work this way, we can actually jump and just go to my Unify controller and we can find it that way. How about we do that? Because most of the time with this, it has a default IP, and sometimes we have to change our network to get to it. So this is wired. And yeah, I think this is it. but yeah, and it's over PoE. So this is it. So I'm thinking it is hardwired to a specific IP address, which I think it's 192.168.188, which again is very, very similar. So what we're going to do, what I find the easiest way to connect to this is I'm just going to change my default network IP address to something that's in the range. So we're going to do 192.168.124. All right. So let's see, does that work? So by default, it says 192.168.100.88. And there it is. I'm assuming the password is admin, which it is. And hey, we're there. Very similar layout. The buttons are a little bit more rounded. But yeah, so let's go through our menu here. We've got live, obviously. Now, in comparison, the ATA imaging as well as the PTZ optics, it looked like it was still using Flash, which is not supported, but it looks like this one has been updated to support it. The native, I think it might be HTML5 or something like that, but oh well. Let's go to our settings. We have video, encoder, our stream. We can set our bit rate, resolution, second stream. Okay. Let's go to our image. We can flip and mirror, just like if we wanted to put this upside down. Almost every other one has this. Now, some of the other ones actually, what was it? The one that I installed in another church, Greater Works, I believe, it actually had auto sensing on, so you didn't have to change the setting. It flipped automatically. But, I mean, you can do it from the menu, which I learned the hard way. And then you can come through here. So audio switch is actually on by default. I'm going to turn it off. It doesn't hurt to keep it on, especially if you don't have nothing plugged into it. All right, let's go to system. This is where we can reboot, set the password, which I've changed the password on the one at my church, and I don't remember what it is, so I need to go in and reset it. Network, all right, here's where it's manually set, and again, they set it to Google stuff. Interesting. Fixed IP. Manual. I would have thought fixed IP is manual. That's strange. Let's go ahead and do that. And then let's look at one more menu. Okay, this is where you can give it a name. That naming convention is kind of interesting. But let's go ahead now, since we set it, let's go ahead and reboot it. And then let's see, do we get something else on here? Can we connect to it on our regular network? Waiting to see. I pushed the reboot. I have not seen it. Okay. And it normally would have shown an IP address up there, but it didn't. Okay, looks like it's back to the same IP address. See, that's really strange. So if I go back over here, see, it says fixed IP address, but it won't let me pick anything, which will make me think it's supposed to be DHCP, where it will grab an IP address automatically. So let's go ahead and search this again. And it didn't change because I'm still on this network of 100. And let's see. does it show anything here? Okay, there's my computer that I put on there. And it should be 88 should show up. Nothing. Let's go ahead and switch our network back. And I'm actually going to go in here and shut the camera all the way down. Now let's flip back on and let's see, does it put it on a different network now? And it's supposed to show the IP address in the upper left corner. Still no IP address. Strange. All right, so let's cut back over here. All right, so let's search back on our network again to see, did we make a change and does it show up now? And yes, it does, because that's it. So that's now 78. So that's strange. It says fixed IP address. I don't like that naming, but let's see. Yep. So we're finally on the network, and that's DHCP. I don't know why it says fixed, but oh well. We're here now. We got into it, and yeah. So I can come over here and let's go ahead and add, change my source here. I'm going to actually use the controls here to move the camera so y'all can see everything going on. So I'm just clicking over here. Yeah, you can see my mic. So far, so good. Let's pan up a little bit. And all right, so now, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Now I need to see if I can get me some batteries here to get to the joystick. I mean, for the remote to work. But all right, so we're back over here. What we need to do is set up the system so we can use our joystick that's going to be at church. Now, if we go over to, where's it at? You got to identify, for each camera that you have, it has an ID that you need to set. And that's how, especially if you're daisy chaining, that's how the joystick will know which one is which, or the address of each one. So where is that in this screen? All right, so it looks, I can't find anything in the configuration to change the actual settings for the camera, set the ID or anything like that. So, I mean, we see our port here, but there's no place specifically to say, I need this to be ID 1, 2, and stuff like that. So let me see if I can find some batteries and we can get the remote to see if we can get to it on the on-screen display of the actual device. All right, so we got the remote set up. So let's go check out the menu to see if we can get to our setting here. Menu, okay, menu looks very similar as well. Exposure, okay, this is where we can set all this other fun stuff. I'm gonna leave that by default there. Color, we can do white balance, which is on auto, which I need to adjust and match the same settings at my church, but it might not be that big of an issue because we have more white on the pulpit. Image, okay, this is where we can flip. PTZ, speed, and all this other stuff. Okay. Noise reduction. Okay. Setup. All right. That's fine. Communication. All right. So this is where we need to adjust the settings that I was talking about. Really strange that this is not in the web configuration, but you need to set an address, and this is where we changed ours before. So at the camera at our church, the PTZ Optics, it's already at 1. So we need to change this to 2. So on our joystick, if your joystick supports it, it has camera 2. So when we press that button, it will go here. All of the baud rate, serial, all that other stuff is fine, because this is how we're going to daisy chain to this. All right, so I don't know. I mean, what do y'all think? Let me switch solely over to that camera. And what do y'all think from a quality standpoint? I mean, what do y'all think? I don't know. I mean, I have some configuration issues with it. Some of the wording is not correct, at least to my understanding. Let me not say it like that, as if like I know everything. Put this mic back on here. It's interesting, to say the least. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, so far, so good. I don't know how this is going to function long term. But again, I have got PoE going into this. We are going to have, I don't have an SDI cable on me that I can test this. But I'm going to see how this works at my church. I'm going to hook it up, because we already took down the G20, which is over here right now, just to see what this looks like. And maybe this is an option for you. Like I said, you know what we do on here. We always talk about other options, and then maybe this is a viable solution for some of y'all that want PTZs and you want to do it, but then some of the prices that you're getting and seeing on other PTZs might be outside of your range. If I had a choice, I would go with some of the higher ones, just because of just setting it up, because this was kind of a pain. But I mean, hey, I need to put this in our church to see what it looks like. But looking at the reviews, a lot of people have said they are happy with them. But we're going to actually try it out and see what it looks like. And I don't know how fast I'm going to be able to turn the install around, because I still need to pull the mount down and hang this and all this other stuff. But I don't know. We'll test it out, and we'll see with this in our sanctuary what it looks like, and everything is rolling that way. So let's transition over to the church. All right, so we are here at the church right now, and we're going to be hooking this up here just to have a side-by-side. Here is our first PTZ, and then we're going to connect this. Actually, on a side note, the Marshall did not support when I made the change to 1080p 60 here. So this is actually the ATEM Imaging HD 100A. So just to let you know, we did change that out. But first, I'm gonna try and show you how to set this up. Makes it real simple, and it looks like my collar was popped. We're gonna hook this up and show you when we made that change with the ID, how it works. I'm not gonna touch anything, and by default, it should work because it's set to be number 2. I have the daisy chain cable actually right here. And the cable that I've ran is under the table, so we'll be able to connect to it, and we'll see how everything works. All right, so it's time to make sure that was my wiring done right, and do I even remember what I did? So let's go ahead and switch this over. Let me show you how we got it set up. All right, so here is the RS232 converting over to RJ45. Because I don't have an extra SDI cable here, I'm connecting over HDMI, which will still give us the same thing. We are plugged in, we are off. This is the extra long cable that I had here, which is going to the blue cable here, which is the daisy chained connection off of the other PTZ camera that we have. And that's how this works. This one is the white cable going down right there. That's going to the camera. The blue is coming back, which is the loop back. This one would be for network to the other camera, which I'm leaving that off right now. Now, I could have had those backwards, but technically this should work, and we will get an image here for that one when it turns on. So let's go ahead and power everything on. All right, we got power, it's moving. And let's see where we get an image. There we go. Actually, I had it wrong. It's stage display. That's how we have it set up. All right, so we got this up, and it says IR is set at 1. So let's see. We need to go to Setup. And the default code for this is 8888. All right, camera setup. We're going to go to camera 2. That is Visca. And that's the right baud rate. If y'all remember, that's how it was defaultly. And technically, that should be it. So now, if we go to, let me log in here so I can get the controls, the ATEM control, that is. All right, let's open up the ATEM software. So that is the stage display, how that is looking right now. So we'll set this to stage so we can have them side by side here. And the lights are off in the sanctuary. All right, so now that we got everything here, let's go ahead and we're on camera 1. And as you can see, we can go to different positions here that are pre-programmed. Let's go to position 2, camera 2, excuse me. Now, do we get any motion? There you go. See, that was easy. And we got the right cable on the first go. So that's awesome. So, you know, we can make the same motions here. We can zoom in, out, and everything. So really cool. All right. So, I mean, really painless, especially how everything is done. So this cable would go into one of the 3 existing Cat 6 cables that we ran in the ceiling that goes all the way up to the front. So one is going to be for the network, one is going to be for the RS-232, and then we still have another one that's left over. We actually have 2 SDI cables up there because one was going to our switcher, the other one was going to a monitor that we had Jimmy rigged as a viewfinder. And because here's the other end of it, here's the second one. So we have 2 SDI cables already in place. So mainly we just got to hang them out, put the camera up, and it's there. And I really wish I had a way to do that easily right now, which I don't, because I'm not dressed to actually do that right now. But yeah, I mean, it's looking good in comparison. If I switch back around here so y'all can see, I mean, again, pretty nice image quality. I mean, granted, I am directly under a light, and you see my stomach. But anyway, looking really good. But this is ultimately will be placed in the front, and that will supplement and have everything instead of having separate joysticks for every single camera. I mean, as you can see, we've cleaned up a lot of this. So it was a camera here, the Panasonic. Then it was the Canon G20 viewfinder here with its own remote. Then it was the multi-view. Then we had another Canon G20 here with a separate remote. Then we also had a Sony Handycam down there with another remote. And then we had the static camera that was directly down. So now at this point, we don't have to have everybody running back and forth. We can just use that. Now, again, this isn't a part of the product review of what this is, but, you know, I know what some of the main comments are going to be like, well, then what's the point? I'm not going to get into which one I think is better. What this channel is known for is helping media ministries in whatever capacity. Just like there's just not one car for everybody, there is an assortment and option of multiple cars for other people. I think that's important here as well too. There are multiple different options for different companies. Some people want to have a brand name that they know, want to use same brand name that other churches that they know are using, other ministries are using. Other people don't want certain products made from a certain place. Hey, just being honest. You know, some of them want them to have these feature sets, some don't. It doesn't really matter. Just know that it does give multiple options, and that's where I'm coming from, because that's how much y'all have asked for me to review different options. That's what we're doing. We don't have any allegiance to any particular brand. We are all about the focus of, does whatever brand or product help facilitate media ministries? That's what it's about. So that is the SMTAV 20X. When we install it, I'll probably have a vlog of showing it being installed, because I know some people asked me about running the cables and all this. So this, just consider this as initial unboxing, review, setup, because obviously it's not going to stay right here. We're going to be mounting it sometime, hopefully this week. But anyway, if you have any other questions, please let me know down below. I will get to them as best as I possibly can. If you need to, you can always email me at questions@ajhomes.com, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Give me 48 to 72 hours to get back in touch with y'all. So anyway, thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. We will see you on the next video. Later.